Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. These discs are wild, literally. And in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about them. I've shown up at Texas Army Trail here in Cypress, Texas. So let's go get set up. Okay, so forgive me, my voice is a little bit sore. I'm getting over a cold, so my throat is a little bit under the weather. That said, I've got these 3 discs here that were sent to me by WildStar Discs. Micah is a team captain for Wild Discs. He's been with them for about 3 years. I had a little quick interview with him in DMs to kind of get an idea of what was going on. And man, I was really impressed that he reached out to me before I could even email Wild Discs, and he said that he had noticed I had been changing up my bag. I'm looking for new discs to replace old discs and trying different things out, because you know, one of the fun things about disc golf is trying out new discs and other products. And so basically, he sent me these 3 discs and I've been very impressed. So I got my notes here on what they are. I've actually seen the Sea Otter before. Some of you may remember Cole Redolin's Epic Ace on GK Pro Skins a year or 2 ago. That was what first notified me this disc is out there. And so I've been curious about it. And also there are 2 other discs he sent me. So I've got the Sea Otter putter. It is in the Landslide plastic. Next is this, it's a mid-range. It's called the Addax Reborn. It's in their Ozone plastic. So Landslide is their base plastic. Ozone is one of their premium plastics. And then last but not least, he sent me a fairway driver called the Hyena, and it's in Meteor plastic. And so I'm thrilled to play a quick little round of disc golf here at Texas Army Trail. It's going to be a little bit of a select. I'm not going to play all the holes due to time constraints, but I'm going to start out at one of the wooded holes. But before we do that, I'm going to go and warm up, throw some practice throws, and let you see what these guys throw like in the hands of, you know, a rec level player like myself. Okay, we've arrived at the first hole. It's kind of a wideish tunnel that curves around towards the basket, 300 plus feet that way. So I'm going to try a mid-range shot to get kind of in the middle. Got right at the edge of the corner. Now let's try the Hyena. I'm going to try to get a little bit farther. That's probably the best shot I've ever thrown on this hole. That's crazy. Now we're at an arbitrary position in the middle of the fairway. The path that I want to throw is roughly that way to get close towards the basket. Let's see how I can approach. I'm putting. Okay, now we've arrived at the lie of the Hyena. So what I'm going to do is take an approach putter, a throwing putter, try to get close to it. Or maybe run it up. We're just a little bit past it. All right, let's see if I can make a little trick shot. Let's go. And now just for giggles, let's try to put this one in. Okay, hole 6 has got an interesting shot shape. I'm going to try the mid-range. Not too bad. One of the things I noticed about the Sea Otter as soon as I got it was I compared it to my Pure, and it's like a slightly overstable Pure. So if you've been looking for a Pure with more stable, that's where the Sea Otter seems to fit. So I'm going to try a forehand with it. Keep in mind, I'm not good with forehands. But you know, that'll work. Okay, so candidly, the Hyena isn't the type of fairway driver you'd throw on this hole, so it did have a little bit of excessive skip there. We're not here to score this round, so I'm gonna spare y'all the attempt for me to try to pitch out and then try to make a putt. And to be honest, this Hyena in the hands of a rec level player like me is more of a distance driver, like I would expect, similar to like a Valkyrie and other 9-speed, slightly understable drivers, that someone at my level throwing up at 300 feet would use it as a distance driver, not so much for carving out small fairways. I guess I could use it as a putter too. Now to be fair, this is a 400-foot hole, and if you're a higher level, maybe an advanced player, maybe open level, you could probably use this to go through the fairway. I'm gonna kind of show you what not to do if you're someone at my level. Well, you know, that's not too bad. But again, it's got a little bit of a skip, and that's what you expect for essentially a distance driver for a rec level player on a hole like this. Try to throw your slower fairways, or ideally a mid-range. And wouldn't you know, I happen to have a mid-range right here from Wild Discs. That's a little bit better. Okay, since this isn't a scored round, I'm gonna try to rethrow this mid-range and just see if I can get a little bit of a better angle. There we go, that's a lot more what I was intending, so. That's not too bad, it's at the edge of the fairway. All right, so let me see if I can throw this with a forehand. Again, not my forte, I just wanna see if I can. Well, I got it over there, it's not in the best spot. All right, kind of the same deal. The distance driver went just a little bit too far into the brush because of the fade. It's a more challenging disc to throw tight lines on for a rec level player. So I'm going to try to get out with the Sea Otter. And you know what, that's pretty good for me. All right, at my level, this would really be a par 4 hole, but we're going to see if I can get this close to the basket. You know, that was a good bid. All right, again, this is probably too tough a course for someone at my level, you know, to try to demonstrate how best to throw these discs. But there's no clear path to get, you know, a basket from here. So really what I need to do is kind of throw it just to get it close enough to have a putt right behind the basket. Okay, so the first Sea Otter was here. The second one is here. Let's go. Okay, we've arrived at the final hole for this evaluation. One thing I want to say is the next hole is a par 5, and the next one after there is a par 4, followed by another par 4, so that's essentially why we're calling it quits here. I'm going to take this Addax, and I'm going to try to make a placement shot, because this hole is 356 feet according to the T-pad sign. I'm going to throw it out that way and let it come in a little bit. This is basically a placement shot. A little low, but that's not too bad. All right, let me see if I can make a correction, but this is going to be the more assertive play. Let's go. All right, so the good news is these both landed pretty close to each other. I threw them both at about 80% power. They both went a little bit too low, because this is like maybe 200 feet. That's like 215, 220. But you know, it is what it is, rec level disc golfer. That said, I'm going to try the Sea Otter. I'm just going to try to do a standstill approach just to get kind of close to the basket. A little too much hyzer, but you know, that's next to the basket. Okay, I gotta hurry because we have people on the tee pad next to me. So basically this is a park job right next to it. All I want to do is get kind of close. Not as close, but that's still a putt. It's like 20, 25 feet. All right, well, I got my mini up there where the other Sea Otter was. So let's just see if I can make a putt. Oh, not really. All right, people are throwing in on me, so I'll just go ahead and go to the next hole. We'll talk about the discs. Whew, okay, I just swapped out the battery. I'm here to do the outro. Let me tell you about these 3 discs and what I think about them so far. As I mentioned, I think the Sea Otter is very much like a Latitude 64 Pure in terms of its overall relatively flat design. It's not a deep putter per se. It's, I would say, medium depth, which is great. Great feel for my hands. The plastic here is stiff, rigid plastic. It's not soft and bendable. And this is the type of throwing plastic I like for approach discs. It looks like it's pretty decent in terms of durability, but it is a base plastic. They do have premium versions of this, and they have other putters as well that are throwing putters. But yeah, this is a touch stable. This is definitely stable to slightly overstable, which is great. This is, I would even consider it a driving putter. So very good, very impressed with that. This is actually a little bit of a sleeper hit. This is the Addax Reborn, and this is in the Ozone plastic. And this is definitely more of a beveled profile than a putter. It's definitely mid. I would say it's almost a small diameter mid. It seems to me somewhere in the half between a large size mid and a small diameter mid. So it throws just like you would expect, decently overstable. This is, I would say, a straight flyer, definitely true, does not turn easily or accidentally, especially for someone like me that has a little bit of wobble in his throw. So this very good, grippy, premium plastic. You know, it's in that sort of champion style plastic, but it's grippier than most champion plastics I've ever felt. So it's great for throwing, and you saw here I use it as an approach disc on some throws, and I think that's sort of, people think mid is somewhere in between a putter and a fairway, and indeed they are, but these are really great overstable throwing putters if you're into distance for putters. So if you want a little bit extra distance in a throwing putter, this is where mid ranges are great. And this is great, feels good in the forehand, but I really love its feel in the backhand. This is sort of in that rock, maybe a slightly overstable buzz category. Very, very good disc, I love it. It's vying for a spot in my bag. And this one actually is probably certainly going in my bag, only in that I need this type of fairway driver that is max distance for me, a rec level player, and it's got a good sized rim, both in terms of the thickness or wing length, and it's not too thin and it's not too thick. So it's very comfortable in the hand. For me, I would be throwing this more in backhands than forehand because I don't have a forehand of the distance that would use this. So yeah, this is in the Meteor plastic. I really think the Hyena is really good disc, really good disc. I'm gonna probably on the way out have a bunch of distance throws on it just so I can see how it flies more. But that's going to do it for this little video. Again, thank you, Micah of WildStar Disc, for sending this out to me. Thank you, Wild Disc, for making these products and giving us more to look forward to, more diversity and versatility out in the market. That's going to do it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.